Hello everyone, I'm your science teacher Hemita Chandulia. Students, today we are going to start a new chapter of class 7 science, that is chapter number 6, physical and chemical changes. Students, in this chapter we are going to learn about what are physical and chemical changes and what are physical properties and what are chemical properties, and we will discuss many examples of both physical changes and chemical changes. We also discuss about galvanization, alloying and crystallization. So, let's begin today's session with physical changes. Students, to understand what are physical changes, first we have to make sure that may we know what is change basically. So, let's proceed. What is change? Students, have a look on the pictures which are on board. In this picture, you can see that there is cooking of food. Okay, it is cooking of food. अब cooking of food के लिए we need raw material. ठीक है, हमें raw material चाहिए. Then we just provide heat to it, flame to it, and finally we got the food whatever we want. Okay, have a look in this picture. You can observe ice cream are there, okay, and these ice creams are in melting state. Okay, so we can say melting ice cream. पहले ice cream कैसी थी? Solid, in solid form, ठीक है, but as the temperature rises, ice cream starts melting. Have a look in this picture, students. You can observe there is a chain. It is a section of a chain. Okay, and its color is red brown. That means this chain is having rust over it, and we know rust कहाँ होती है? The articles which are made of iron. इस पे क्या लगी हुई है? जंग लगी हुई है. So we can say it is showing rusting of iron. Okay, अब rust अचानक तो नहीं लगती है. It takes time, and during monsoon season we can easily observe rusting. Okay, students, in all these examples you can observe different changes. Have a look here. You can say that there is a total change of raw material. After cooking of food you can't observe the ingredients. Okay, जैसे पहले जो हमने raw materials से जो ingredients हमने use किए वो हमें as it is नज़र नहीं आते हैं. In this example, in starting, ice cream was in solid condition, but as the temperature rises, ice cream starts melting. So यहाँ पे change किस में हुआ? State में. पहले solid state था, अब धीरे धीरे वो liquid state में convert हो रही है. In this example, you can observe that कि there is change in color. आप जो new chain होती है iron की, उसको देख सकते हैं, but after rusting, there is change in color. So students, we can say what is change? We can say the process in which there is change in state, color, shape, size, property, chemical composition and structure of substance is called change. Is it clear to everybody? If you are understanding what is change, then it is very easy for you to understand physical and chemical change. Okay class, students, we divide basically changes in two types. First one is physical change and second one is chemical change. अब what is physical change? चलिए, when there is change in physical property of a substance is called फिजिकल चेंज. किसी भी सब्सटेंस की फिजिकल प्रॉपर्टी में अगर चेंजेस होते हैं, दैट मीन्स दैट चेंज इज नोन एज फिजिकल चेंज. बट ये फिजिकल प्रॉपर्टीज क्या हैं बेटा? द साइज, द स्टेट, द कलर, ओके, शेप, all these are what? All these are physical properties of a substance. So we can say physical properties means shape, size, color, state. शेप चेंज हो सकता है, छोटे से बड़ा हो सकता है, फाइन, बड़े से छोटा हो सकता है, साइज भी यही होता है, ठीक है. कलर में अभी यू जस्ट हैव सीन स्टेट, solid to liquid, liquid to gas, gas to solid, whatever the changes we can consider. Okay, let's proceed. Another important feature of physical change, no new product is formed. हमेशा ध्यान रखिए, whenever there is physical change, कोई भी नया product form नहीं होगा. They are generally reversible. फाइन, यू नो कि रिवर्सिबल का मतलब क्या होता है, यहाँ से यहाँ, जो चीज़ यहाँ बनी हुई है वो चीज़ यहाँ बनी हुई है, ये 2 से 1 बन सकता है, 1 से 2 बन सकता है. दे आर नोन एज रिवर्सिबल. जनरली नॉट ऑल द चेंजेस आर रिवर्सिबल. फाइन. नो चेंज इन केमिकल कंपोजिशन ऑफ सब्सटेंस. यस, सब्सटेंस के केमिकल कंपोजिशन में कोई भी चेंज नहीं आएगा. Let's revise. What is physical change? A change in which there is change in physical properties. And what are physical properties? Shape, size, color, state. And these changes are generally reversible and no new product will form. And there is no change in chemical composition of substance. Students, there are so many examples of physical change. Okay, let's read. Melting of ice, yes, it is same as melting of ice cream that we had discussed earlier. Ice का melt होना, it is an example of physical change. What happened exactly? आपका जो ice है, it is in solid state, it is converting into liquid one. So there is change of state only. Fine. Vaporization of water, yes. वाटर को जब हम हीट करते हैं या वाटर सनलाइट के प्रेजेंस में इवोपरेट होता है, then there is change in the state only. Fine. And vaporization of water is an example of physical change. Dissolution of sugar or salt in water. Yes, जब कभी भी हम घर में लेमन जूस बनाते हैं या एनी टाइप ऑफ शिकंजी वी आर प्रिपेयरिंग, वी आर यूजुअली डिज़ोल्व शुगर एंड सॉल्ट इन वाटर. दैट इज़ अ एग्जाम्पल ऑफ फिजिकल चेंज. Cutting of paper. Yes, suppose you are having a paper and you are cutting into 2 parts and further you cut in 4 parts. There is no change in chemical composition. Fine. It is change in size or it is change in shape. Fine. You can cut the paper in any shape. Fine. So there is no change in chemical composition, no new product is formed. So we can say cutting of paper is a physical change. Crushing of chalk. Yes, in our school if we are using the chalk, and the crushing of that chalk is also an example of physical change. ठीक है, अब वो क्रश होने पे चौक चौक ही रहेगा, उसमें कोई केमिकल कंपोजिशन में कोई चेंज नहीं आएगा, उसका सिर्फ साइज चेंज हुआ है. एंड वी कैन अगेन प्रिपेयर चौक फ्रॉम दैट डस्ट. ओके क्लास. Crystallization, yes, formation of crystals, the big particles, it is also an example of physical change. Students, let's do some activity which make clear the concept of physical change. Our first activity is showing changes in size. What we have to do? We have to take a paper. Fine. हमने ये size का paper लिया. We cut this paper in 4 equal parts. Okay. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay. And again we cut the one part in 4 equal parts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And finally again we join the paper. ठीक है. Is there any change in the chemical composition of paper? Is there any new product form? No. Paper paper ही रहा, वो छोटा था या बड़ा था, but there is change in size. So we can say it is an example of physical change. Is that clear, class? Okay. Another activity, have a look here. This activity is showing that there are changes in state also. We are having ice cubes. Fine. अब ice बनने के लिए क्या चाहिए? If we freeze water at 0 degree. Fine. हमने water को freeze किया ice बनाने के लिए 0 degree Celsius पे, ठीक है. But when we provide it temperature between 0 to 100 degree Celsius, it is the normal temperature for water. Where in that condition water remains in liquid state. यहाँ 0 degree Celsius पे water ice में था. This is the solid state. Here between 0 degree to 100 degree Celsius water remains at liquid state. Fine. But when we heat the water, when we provide the temperature of 100 degree Celsius, the water start boiling and that water start changes into steam. Fine student. And here this state is gaseous state. Fine student. हम जब वाटर को एक नॉर्मल टेम्परेचर पे रखते हैं, नॉर्मल टेम्परेचर क्या होता है? इट इज़ फ्रॉम 0 to 100, क्योंकि 100 पे तो वाटर बॉयल होना स्टार्ट हो जाता है और 0 पे आते ही वाटर फ्रीज हो जाता है. तो एट 0 डिग्री सेल्सियस वाटर इज एट सॉलिड स्टेट. वी कैन से आइस बन गया है. वाटर जब नॉर्मल कंडीशन में होता है इट इज़ इन लिक्विड स्टेट, बट व्हेन वी स्टार्ट बॉइलिंग द वाटर इट convert into steam and steam is a gaseous state. Okay class, we can understand this process with this flow chart. Have a look. Solid का liquid में convert होना it is known as melting. Fine. Liquid का gas में convert होना it is known as vaporization. Is that clear to everybody? लिक्विड का सॉलिड में कन्वर्ट होना इट इज नोन एज फ्रीजिंग. फाइन. एंड गैस को यानी जो स्टीम हमारे पास बना था, अगर हम उसके ऊपर कुछ डिस्टेंस पे कोई प्लेट या कोई भी हम यूटेंसिल्स पे रखते हैं एंड व्हेन इट बिकम्स कूल you can observe water droplets there. That means that process is known as condensation. Is that clear to everybody? Okay. But sometimes what happens students, sometimes solid directly convert into gas. Fine. And that process is known as sublimation. Fine. Again I am repeating, solid to liquid it is known as melting, liquid to steam or gas it is known as vaporization, liquid to solid it is known as freezing, and gas to liquid it is known as condensation, and solid से direct gas में convert होना it is known as sublimation. और इसका सबसे अच्छा एग्जाम्पल है, यू माइट हैव सीन योर मदर वैन एवर शी वॉज जस्ट कीपिंग द क्लोथ्स ऑफ विंटर्स शी पुट सम नैपथलीन बॉल्स. देखा है? और कुछ टाइम के बाद वो नैपथलीन बॉल्स डिसअपियर हो जाती हैं. फाइन. दिस इज़ एन एग्जाम्पल ऑफ सब्लिमेशन प्रोसेस. फाइन. जिसमें सॉलिड डायरेक्ट किस में कन्वर्ट हो जाता है? गैस में. एंड फाइनली इट डिसअपियर्स. ओके क्लास, लेट्स प्रोसीड टू द नेक्स्ट वन. Crystallization. We also studied that crystallization is a physical change, जो लास्ट में हमने रीड आउट किया. What is crystallization बेटा? Some substances can be obtained in pure state from their solution by crystallization. Fine. हमें किसी भी substance के pure form को obtain करना है उसके solution state से. That process is known as crystallization. Fine. Students, you might have studied or you might have seen कि हमें नमक कैसे मिलता है, जो नमक हम खाते हैं. You know that कि near the sea banks or the salty lakes we make the columns and we put water, we collect water here, and by the evaporization process, ठीक है, in presence of sun, water evaporate हो जाता है, and finally what we got salt, and these are known as lagoons. Fine, हमने ये पढ़ा है. So is that salt we obtain by this process, is it pure? Not exactly. So salt can be obtained by the evaporization of seawater. The salt obtained is not pure, okay, and shape of its crystal cannot be seen clearly. Okay class, so we are having a process through which we can obtain the pure state and the big crystals from their solution, that is known as crystallization. I hope crystallization process is clear to everyone. Let's understand how we can prepare, how we can obtain crystals by an activity. Students, in this activity we are obtaining crystals of copper sulfate. Okay, what we have to do, first we will take a cup of water in a beaker, okay, and after that we will add in water few drops of dilute sulfuric acid. Okay, students, sulfuric acid is what? H2SO4. Fine. अब हमने few drops of dilute sulfuric acid add किस में की? Water में. We provide heat to it. When it start boiling, we are adding copper sulfate powder. ठीक है, हम इस सॉल्यूशन के अंदर, जिसके अंदर डाइल्यूट सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड है एंड वाटर है, वी आर एडिंग copper sulfate powder in it and we stir it continuously, and we are adding copper sulfate powder till it stop dissolving in it. फाइन, जब तक इसके अंदर कॉपर सल्फेट डिज़ोल्व होता जाता है तब तक हम इसमें कॉपर सल्फेट पाउडर डालेंगे, और जैसे ही वो डिज़ोल्व होना बंद होता है, वी stop dissolving the copper sulfate powder. After that we will filter it, fine, and let it cool for some time and don't disturb the solution basically, fine, and when it becomes cool you can observe the crystals of copper sulfate. Fine class 7th, in this way we can obtain the solution, we can obtain the crystals from the solution of a substance, and these crystals are the pure form. Fine, is it clear? Is it clear class? Okay, in this way physical changes completes here. I hope it is clear to everybody what are physical changes, and now you can correlate your understanding with the examples surrounding you. Okay, in coming video we are going to discuss about chemical changes. Okay, till then learn what is physical change and examples of physical changes. Okay, thank you everyone.